Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Bonaquista and I am the president of Journey in Ministries and the director of Training Academy for Jesus in Equine, or as we like to call it, T.A.J.E. I am so excited that you are here with us today. I just hope this gives you some clarity about what we're doing here. You get to learn a little bit about who I am and what God is really moving here at T.A.J.E. and I cannot wait to tell you all about it. So what made me decide to start an academy was ultimately God. Ever since I was little, my sister and I, we wanted to run a Christian horseback riding camp. We had had that desire. We believe it was placed in us from God. We went to a lot of Christian camps and summer camps, and we always felt like the kids were still on John 3:16 and, just the very basics. And we were so far advanced from there. So it never felt like we got poured into. We were always giving to others. We were always teaching others. But they didn't even really have the material to teach us a deeper understanding. So when we had decided that we were going to run this Christian horseback riding camp, we knew that it was going to be for kids who are already Christians, that they were going to come, they were going to learn more, and really get a deep understanding of how to back up their faith. And as I grew, as time went on, I wanted to run an etiquette school because, we don't always get our dreams when we're 6. And so I had this idea of an etiquette school, and I love teaching etiquette, manners, and just business transactions, conversations, how to conduct yourself well in a business, things like that. And as time went on, once I graduated from college, I could see that God was moving this into a combined effort and that it was still T.A.J.E, but it wasn't a camp, it was an academy. And it was a place where young men and women would come, they would stay, live on property, and get this deep, firm understanding of who the Lord is and how to share the gospel with their talents. So what made me want to become a Christian is basically, I've been a Christian my whole life. My parents raised me Christian. They got saved right after they got married, and they wanted to raise my sister and I in a Christian household. But even with that, they taught us about other religions, so that way we could see that Christianity is the one true religion and get to choose it for ourselves. And I think that was a beautiful approach to it, because now it's not my parents' faith, it's mine. And when I was 13, I got baptized and gave my life to God at a local church. And I was always very passionate. I even did Bible drills. I can find any verse in the Bible in under 30 seconds. Well, I'm not sure I can anymore, but I used to be able to. And so I have that knowledge of the Lord. And then in my 20s, which I think is a time when a lot of people's faith is tested, my faith was tested, and I stepped away from God, and I wanted to see what the world had to offer. And eventually it comes down to a decision: are you going to live for the world, or are you going to live for God? And when I was out in the world, there was nothing good that it offered me. Everything ended up in hurt and pain and sorrow, and I could just see that God was calling me back to Him and saying, this isn't the life I wanted for you. I wanted more for you. And so I stepped away from that, and even with those trials, I feel like I've gotten to be able to share with others, and I know that's not the path that God wanted for me, but because I chose those things, I have a way that I can help more young adults when they're going through that struggle, when the world is trying to pull them away from their faith. And so I even got myself back with Christ. I got myself back with the Lord, and I have just had a beautiful relationship with Him. It grows stronger every day, and I love sharing the gospel and just getting to tell people about Jesus. My history with horses is a long one. Ever since I was little, I think I was born crazy about horses. Every pony ride, every horse, I had to pet it, I had to ride it. We were just obsessed, my sister and I. And my parents saw that, so they were like, okay, we'll get them some lessons, hopefully they'll continue to like horses. And one day, I was 4 years old, and we were in, the middle of a suburb, and strapped up to the minivan, my dad came home with a horse trailer. And my mom was like, what is that? He's like, it's a horse trailer. And she's like, but we don't have a horse, Mark. And he's like, well, it was on sale, and when we do get a horse, we'll have a way to pull it. And that's my dad right there. He's always rooting for my dreams, big or small. He's always there for me. And so a couple months later, we ended up with a pony. His name was Windsor. And after that, I started competing on him. I have competed in hundreds of shows. I have placed very well. I've won ribbons and trophies and medals in both English and Western disciplines. So I have a lot of knowledge behind horses. And I've rodeoed, I've horse showed, and then I did 4-H. And I loved 4-H because I was able to learn more about animal care and not just riding the horses. And I was a horse bull and hippology champion, and I was 7th in the nation for pole bending for 4-H. So my qualifications for running an academy are real world experience. Yes, I have a degree from the Los Angeles Film School. I graduated summa cum laude. I have a certificate from the Leadership Institute, and I'm a certified etiquette consultant. But over the years, when my life didn't go quite the way I thought it was going to go, I worked at a movie theater. And I worked my way up in the theater, and I actually became second under the senior manager. I would pretty much run an entire building. We'd have up to 200 staff, and they were young adults. And so they'd come in knowing nothing, and we'd teach them everything, basically. And it was a lot of fun. I really loved working with them. And I personally have ran pony camps, so I have a lot of experience combining the leadership aspect of running a place and getting to see the kids and getting to see them grow and learn and teach them. And so I can just see that God's been pushing me in that direction. I have rodeoed, I've been a rodeo queen, I've been a rodeo queen coach, I've been a rodeo queen consultant. So I have a lot of experience working with youth and young adults. And I just know that God has been moving me in this direction to build T.A.J.E and to be able to guide and teach the next generation of young gentlemen and ladies who are going to step through the doors and learn how to share the gospel with their talents. Oh man, T.A.J.E is going to make a huge impact. I firmly believe that. I'm so excited about what God's doing. The young men and women that come here, they get this core understanding of they already know the Bible, they already know God, and they're going to come here and they're going to learn how to back up their faith. They're going to learn the tough questions. They're going to learn how to conduct themselves properly with etiquette and being able to speak well to others so that way they can engage them and actually share the gospel in a way that someone would actually receive. The world is constantly pulling against our beliefs and our faith, and it's really hard when you go out and you're like, this is the truth, but you don't know why. You don't have the facts to back it up. And here at T.A.J.E, our students are going to be learning how to back up their faith. And that way, when they go out into the world and they're asked the tough questions, they have the answers and the ability to give them properly. So I just know that they're going to have a huge impact in their own communities. They're going to have an impact nationally, and T.A.J.E can even have an impact globally. I don't want to put a limit on God. I know He can do anything, and I am so excited to just see how God is moving and working here. Thank you so much for being with us today. I have so enjoyed getting to speak with you and getting to share about T.A.J.E, about what God's doing, and about the young men and women that are going to go from here and be able to share the gospel with their skills and their talents that God has given them. this place is a mountain, but we have a Savior who can move mountains. And that is a literal expression of what he can do and who he is. And we are just so excited to continue to move T.A.J.E forward and get to see the lives of the young men and women who are going to go from here and the amazing things that they are going to do. And we are so excited to be able to share that with you.